Hey, we're James. It's trainingsites.io. We're live again. Another quick video. This is a follow-up from a video that I did on Friday, I think. And that whole video, I was saying basically that YouTube is the future of AI. And the whole premise of the video was that you need to create YouTube videos as fast as you can and collect and keep all of the transcripts. And the purpose of that was to be able to create a moat around your education business or your training business. And I got a little bit of pushback on that about, how does that protect you? So what? You have some YouTube videos. What does that actually mean? What are you going to do with them? So I want to show you, I'm going to kind of go over 5 moats that I've identified as ones that are helping me and hopefully will help you protect your training and education business. And this isn't about creating dry, boring online courses. I'm treating this as an education business. I want something that's running next year, the year after that, and knowing that AI is here and it's even going to get more powerful. So I want to be able to both leverage AI internally and protect myself externally from all of the stuff that's happening so quickly. So that's why I'm thinking about a moat. I've identified 4, technically 5, and we'll go over those today. And the reason this came up for me specifically was I was actually, obviously I listen to a lot of other speakers and people who are talking about in the space. The one that that just came up, and I'll put it here. Hopefully, actually, we'll switch it over. I call this one "Teaching Community Moats." That's kind of what my space was here, and I just want to talk about dry, boring courses and what's happening because of AI and this move from AI tools to AI agents to agents of agents. So let's take a look at how this actually fits in. The quote that I came across, or at least the bit of text that I came across, was in the end of last year, but it's been repeated a couple times more this year in 2025. So it was a fall 2024. We're now June 2025 when I'm doing this. And it was a Y Combinator, or Y, I think that's the name of the conference. And one of the panel members basically said that for every software as a service, SaaS, there is an AI agent. So for every piece of software you're using, whether it be a help desk software, email marketing software, a CRM, a help desk, any of those softwares, there's going to be an AI agent that does the same thing. So those software as a service basically are about storing data. AI agents are fundamentally different because they're acting on the data. So this is a huge shift, and I'm trying to figure out, well, how does this affect courses? If I'm going to make another dry, boring course, how does this switch from AI tools to AI agents affect courses or education? And the thing that's coming up here is that, for every skill you can search for, so whether it's on Google or even ChatGPT or any of the other tools, if you can search for a skill, there's an unlimited number of AI generated courses now. As many courses as you want on as many topics as you want, as quickly as you want. And when there's all of those courses that are available, the only thing that can't be technically cloned at this point is you. That's your personal experiences, the frameworks, the processes, everything that you've put together. And if we kind of take a look at, what happened in the past, um, if I look, 2023, even the beginning of 2024, it was like if you were going to create a course, the courses tend to be a little bit longer. They were more programs than courses, and you had a plan for it. And you film some stuff, whether it be talking heads or videos or even Zoom ones where you had kind of recordings of stuff. Then you did edits, then you uploaded it to an LMS or some kind of tool. Then you did marketing material launch. Hopefully you'd be able to sell the course. Sometimes it took 3 months, right? That was a long time to actually put together and produce. And what it ended up with is you've got a static video library of just in case content. All of this great content just in case someone use it. For the most part now, most part now, or uh, it's done. If it's static, it's actually out of date by the time you actually get it published. And I take a look at that particular thing where we got 2020, even 2024, we were able to get some help creating some of that content. But to get the actual course created, it isn't like right now where all you need is a prompt and recordings and or transcripts of your existing content. And this is one of the reasons that I think we need to have that is if you're going to create courses now, it's with a prompt. It's not you planning and editing stuff. It's with a prompt and AI basically spinning up courses based on your content and the person that wants to learn it. So those are lessons, quizzes, summaries, handouts, and these can be in micro small courses, or they can be in series of micro courses put together in bundles that people need at the time. Right now, course creation costs in this 2025-26 is $1. How much did it cost when it was actually done by us by hand 2023 or 2024? And this is the real shift for most of us here, where it's gone from just in case content to just in time learning. So that's the big fundamental thing that's happening. And this is why we need to build or protect ourselves with a moat. And this is the leverage that is the part that we need to really get a handle on. There's been a shift, or there is a shift, and this is that software as a service to the AI agents. This is what's happening. We've got now where we're going from AI tools, which are those large language models that we've been using for the last year, ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini. Those are all great large language models. Those are tools, right? Now we're getting to the point where we're getting agents. An agent is actually someone that can act on the content on our behalf, like a digital assistant that will be able to complete a task. Not just generate the content like an AI tool, but actually complete specific tasks like create a course, create a summary, create a PDF. Those are ones that we know that if I just give the job to someone, an agent is going to be able to do it. And from there, we're getting to a system now where, this year, end of this year, beginning of next year, it's going to be agents of agents. And think of those as departments. So it's like, I need my marketing department, go and do the work. And there'll be agents that do the email copy. There'll be ones that do the social media copy. There'll be ones that, reach out for joint ventures. But those business systems are departments. That's 2026 coming quickly. So I've got these huge shifts in my business, my education business. I can't just do courses. I've got to be able to protect myself from these and also leverage them. So that's a real exciting part, as we're going through all of this. But, what does this actually mean to us in terms of the content that we create? And how do we really make sure that if we are, which we still have to create content, I want to make sure that I create content that can actually help people get a task done or apply and implement stuff so that it helps them get from point A to point B. And I've been working really hard. Again, another way to kind of protect it is the content that's being created, even though it's based on YouTube transcripts. But when I create lessons or I create topics, what I'm trying to do in all of these cases is I'm trying to move from creating content lessons to really creating situational courses or lessons. And what that means is that instead of saying, here's the 5 points, it's saying, here's so-and-so with a problem, or they're in this situation, what do you think that they should do? And how can we use AI to answer that question in the best way based on a framework or a process that I can teach? So it's more about situational learning or situational teaching of the content so that people can actually learn it as opposed to trying to remember the content. The other thing is again, you can use ChatGPT to do this, but you can ask it to be far more Socratic when it teaches you. And what am I talking about? It's questioning you. Why did you decide that? Had you considered this? When would this be used? And there's going to be agents that we're going to be able to deal with when we are creating content that are going to challenge us to think outside of the box and make sure that we understand what it is that we're actually telling people. I did a video about that earlier. I'll put it in the links below so that you can actually go and see it. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure to go to trainingsites.io/join. That's my community and campus with a couple moats around it, but it's free to join. I have a bridge where you can go and join it. You don't have to do anything except sign up, where you get access to all of the content videos and stuff that I've been doing. And I did one on that Socratic method, so I'll make sure to put the links in there as well. And also when we're doing the teaching, and I'm doing the teaching, I'm trying to do as much framework teaching or process teaching or acronym or mnemonic teaching so that people can recall what it is they need to apply or implement based on the content that they have using AI. So content versus teaching and learning, situational courses, Socratic style teaching or delivery of that AI enhanced content, and then framework focused. And I'm going to give you an example of how that actually works. And this is the answer to the question that people gave me about what am I going to do with all of these transcripts? Should I create one course with 25 lessons and videos, or should I have 400 or 500 YouTube videos? It might be shorter, might be longer, that I own the transcripts for. I'm going to show these are the whys, that things that you have to think about with the transcripts. And this is why it's really important. And one of the big moats is about your proprietary data. And this is how this particular works. If you have your AI supported library in your campus and community, and that means books may be available on YouTube, but the library is in your campus and or your community. Here's the big one, the easy one, and we'll do a demo and I'll show you how this works. You can now add AI chat bots on your or in your campus or community that are only available there, that are trained on your data, which is the YouTube transcripts for the most part. Now, of course, you can put as many other pieces of data in there. There's orchestration. There's a whole bunch of additional pieces there, but your AI content, and I'll show you an example of that in a second. There's another thing called MCP, which is becoming more and more popular, that all of the platforms now support. So whether it's Claude or ChatGPT, and I think Gemini does from Google as well, Model Context Protocol is basically a way for a large language model like Claude or like ChatGPT, if you're having a chat with that, basically what MCP does is it says, what tools do I need to finish this task? And I'll give example, if you're cooking and you're in the kitchen and you need a spatula and a frying pan and a grater and you need all of those things to cook your meal, those tools are like the ones that are available, because MCP says if you want a frying pan, go get a frying pan. Here's the connection to the frying pan to say, hey, we need this, and the skillet heated up at this particular temperature. So it's just a way to connect to all of these additional tools. And I'll give you an example of ones that are available. One of the ones that's really popular right now is Notion, which is a software as a service, by the way, but some people use it as a repository for all of their content. You can use MCP right now, and if you put all your transcripts into Notion, you can have it set up that Claude or ChatGPT can add, edit, read all of the content that is in your Notion database before it gives responses. So if you got all your transcriptions there, all of the work that you've done, and it's in Notion, it is now available to ChatGPT. It wasn't there before. If you just created a course with 5 lessons or 10 lessons or 15 videos versus 400 and millions of words, which ones has the value in it? That proprietary data is the stuff that we're collecting. MCP tools, you've seen that now in a lot of the large language model tools where it says connect. You can connect your calendar, your email, your sheets, your docs. So you can actually now go and read your emails, find out what's there, go and analyze files and folders on your docs. Again, MCP tools giving access to content, and if that's where your content is, that helps you give your processes and your answers using these large language model tools that are tools that are available actually for you. You can even do things like fine-tuning documents and AI vector databases. That's time for another one. The AI chatbot is a pretty easy one to use, and I'm going to show you this one, how I've got it set up here on trainingsites.io. We'll bring this one back up here. There, we'll go this one here. So here's an example of one that I did, and I did do a demo on myself on it just to make sure it was working. So hopefully it'll work properly here. We'll just make it so that you can see it. So here I'm logged in as a user on trainingsites.io. And one of the things that I'm looking about here is I've got a framework that I have available to my community. It is a framework that I maybe talked about on YouTube, but I've synthesized and collected the transcripts and they're available in my community. So if I'm a user here and I have ChatGPT, I just may go and say, give me some prompts on a particular topic. Or if I'm in my community and I have my Gear framework or my Teach framework, which are ones that are specific frameworks for people who are in the education space, how does it apply if I'm a leadership coach? Or how does it apply if I'm doing communication skills? Or if I have a particular topic that I'm interested in? So I'm just going to go to the bottom right here. You can see there's a little question mark with some bubbles in it. And I don't know, it's not floating right now. I can set it up as floating. I don't have it set up as floating. So I'm on the Gear page here, and I'm just going to say, and again, this is just an example. If I go to another page, obviously, the cool thing about this is it knows which page I'm on. So if I want to ask questions about Gear or about Teach or any of the other pages on my website, the chatbot knows what's on the website, what's in my repository. So I'm just going to go and I'm just going to say, we'll do some more here. I'm going to say, how would the Gear framework apply to my leadership coaching site? And what's happening is it's using the content on the page and it's asking questions. In my case, I have the chatbot set to ChatGPT, but it's basically applying what's on the page to the answers that it wants. And it basically goes through and it says it's giving me the information that's here based on the page that I'm on. Now, the reason that this is important is because if you weren't a leadership coach and you were coaching something else or creating a course on another completely different topic, it would still use the framework, but it would answer based on your context, not just a generic context. And that's where the real value of this is. And that's why I'm saying get your transcripts in, get your content in as quickly as possible, and have something simple like a chat bot to be able to use and follow around. So this is one you can go on and try, and it's basically set up so that, if you go to a particular page and you start chatting about it, you've now got it. And this is unique and individual to me. So that's a powerful way. Again, you can't do that if you don't have your content in your campus or in your community. So, here's kind of the big pieces that we're looking at for the moats. And I want to go over these and just, think about, is there one of these that I can apply or a couple of them that I can apply? And what's the real benefit of actually doing it this way? I'm just going to make this a little smaller so that we can see it. And so these are 4 moats that I want you to kind of think about here. The big one I just showed you was this whole about your proprietary data. So collect your transcripts, the discussion forums, the lessons, the topics, everything that you do, keep it in your campus, irrespective of whether or not it's going to be a course. Remember, it's proprietary data that's internal, but in the future, that data of yours, you could turn your data into an MCP server and give other people access to your data. So it's in your community. If you want to monetize it externally, you could also do that at some point in the future. And it's your servers, you're keeping everything in one space. You own your data. It's not on a software as a service, it's in your campus and in your community. There's the speed moat. So we got our proprietary data is one, then we've got that speed moat. And this is the whole thing about, I talked about it previously when I was talking about the YouTube videos. The real bonus for YouTube videos and doing so much so quickly is that you can learn how to message stuff and, more importantly, what pieces are of interest to your market, the people you're trying to help, which is the best way for you to actually organize and message it. That speed that you're able to do that, other people are not able to keep up. So you need to iterate and use the community requests, use the campus, create more content as fast as you can, and pay attention to what's resonating, what people like to see, what people want to talk about, and you have that complete cycle that's happening quickly as possible. If I'm thinking about looking at this and I say, well, what's happening in the world of AI? I remember we used to get software. It was like a year between upgrades. Right now, there's upgrades weekly in the AI space, even with the large language model tools. So it's not just, hey, do something now and it's good to go with a static, boring course. Can't do that anymore. We got to get the velocity, and the volume of content has to actually be increased dramatically. Here's the other moat that people are either going to have to get their head around or they're going to rejoice in. And it's really the live, and I call it experimental learning mode. Remember, I was talking about Socratic learning and using situational learning. We're going to be back to actually teaching and talking to people in real life, whether that's online or in person. I think there's going to be an absolute boon to that because this is where we can monetize all of this content that we have. This is where people are going to pay to remove that overwhelm and have someone to talk to answer the questions and help people apply and implement what it is. So if you're not doing it yet, start doing live training slash lessons slash workshops slash implementation and talk to people and learn about what they're doing and how your frameworks and your information can help them grow their particular business. I said volume and velocity and proprietary data. I kind of had I think this one should have been here. So we'll move that one up here. We'll change it there. Yeah, so, and then volume, velocity, and then credibility. This is the other one that I really want to talk about. I didn't talk about it too much in the other video, but this is important and it's a hidden value. Because there's so much content that people are not going to know, is this a real person or is it not? Your ability to create credibility on YouTube by publishing so many videos is building your audience and letting people get comfortable with who you are as an authority, the way you deliver things and how you deliver things to let them be comfortable with you. And again, either like you or not like you. And you got to get over that because you're going to have to be live, not only talking to people, but you're going to have to be showing yourself on video as well. So that live credibility, brand, and reputation is super important. And it comes from a moat that gets created from YouTube again. All of those ones that I was just talking about, these ones here, and I'll kind of minimize them just so we kind of look at them there. These ones here, it's like proprietary content, live learning, volume and velocity, and live credibility. Those are the four key moats that we got to kind of focus on and spend some time thinking about. Um, these are moats, doesn't mean that they can't be bypassed. But if I'm looking at it and I'm saying I'm just going to create a course and have a membership site, I don't think that's a moat at all. Anyone and their uncle is going to be able to do that. We have to have those moats around something, and that's what I'm really considering or thinking about. Call, that home base for your agentic teaching, your agentic campus. And, most people do it this way right now. If I take a look at it, um, we've got an AI course is basically right now, it is just step-by-step content, that just in case content. Sometimes, it's right. Sometimes it's not. It's usually old by the time it gets published now. Some people go, I want to have a membership site where I have bundles of courses put together. Maybe I have a forum where people can ask questions, but basically that is just bundles of courses, which had value in the past, but it's just content, step-by-step content, same thing as in a standalone course. Other people may look and say, okay, I'm going to have a community. And that allows live interaction with real people. And there's a number of good tools for doing that. Like Circle is a good one. A number of the other software as a service are trying to add that. But I do like Service, focuses on community. Um, Good idea. But is it a learning community? Is it AI enhanced in terms of the courses, the content, the interactions that are available with the content and with the people that are there? This AI leveraging of all of your digital assets, this is the part where I think we can actually start having an education business and being able to protect ourselves with these moats and also be able to help the people that we're trying to help. So we got educational content, we've got teaching, network, all AI leverage with the stuff like the situational learning or the Socratic method. Again, all of this stuff in one single place that we actually control. And that's why I call them a campus or a learning community. Now, if you think about a campus, it's a faculty, we've got study halls, we've got different departments that are there, work group presentations, people hanging out, people going to class, people doing exercises, presentations, all of that stuff in one place. Campus, community, AI education, leverage, education business, teaching business, not old, boring, static courses or a membership site. Huge opportunity and a way to protect it with these four moats. And here's kind of the last thing I want to focus on. There's been I think Dan Coe is one of the people that I follow on a regular basis. He's had a couple videos talking about you are the brand, and there's a number of them about the brand. And I think he went flip-flopped on it, if I'm not mistaken. But my personal belief on this is that if you're going to be successful doing all of this stuff in this space, you're going to need a branded campus or a branded community, because at the end of the day, the main moat that you have is you and your unique perspective, experiences, and all of the things that you bring to the table that can't be AI replaced. So you are the brand and you are the human in the loop, just in time, implementation, and transformation. Get rid of that typo there. So this is the cool part. Teach, have fun, share your passion, and you're going to be able to monetize it and also protect it. So you've got AI leverage, AI protection, and a place to share all that you're passionate about and all that you're excited about. I hope you enjoy this kind of stuff. I try and do these videos every day. Go join trainingsites.io, the campus there if you haven't. Come talk to me, come talk to us, and I'm here to help you start, build, and grow your education business. Like and subscribe to the channel. Take care. We'll be back again tomorrow with another great video.